Right, so hi everyone. So this video's basically I was going to say it's going to be a wee bit different, but it's not necessarily different. It's just I don't know. I don't tend to film a lot of the ones like this. I'm usually doing it through the phone. So, but yeah, I felt called to just do it because I've been using the Zoom. The Zoom anyway. We'll film it this week. So again, just aesthetically speaking, excuse the that serves me for I was laughing when I was on the Zoom we want to use earlier. I was like, you know what, it's really weird because even before I put makeup on, when I woke up and I looked in the mirror, I was like, you would never know that I hadn't got any sleep. Like, because I looked like I was glowing or something, right? So like, it's kind of like when I've said when I cry and when other people cry, I can like see the Holy Spirit, like, their soul in their eyes. Like, God, this is I've not even done the intro and I'm going in deep, but it's kind of like, and this is the second attempt too. So again, because everything I do is channeling, so we'll just go into the intro now. This is going to have something to do with the message. Now, I'm going to try and keep this about 15-20 minutes. Um, Oh God, and they're getting me to say it's quite interesting, right? Because there's somebody in my life right now. Again, I always just keep it cryptic, but there's somebody in my life right now who's not feeling very well. So I'm just, sending them a bit of distant healings, and I always just say to people, like, as long as you're open, I'll send you a bit of healing. So, and it's quite funny because like they've, that person's just, when you don't reply to the message, but you like it, so you know that it's acknowledging. Because obviously the person's not feeling very well, so when they are feeling better, because I'm holding space for that, they'll be able to just sort of say. But so I feel that's going to be significant to whatever I'm going to say here as well. That there could be something about, because this is specific. So basically, this video is specifically going to be. I'm going to title it something like when either when you feel there is a conversation in the physical coming with your twin flame, or when you've actually arranged to meet them or something, obviously if it happens serendipitously, spontaneously, then well, you can have this in your back pocket too to help you as well, if you found it helpful, and you can let me know by liking the bricking video. And please, thank you, please, and thank you if you do, because like I said, I really do feel, yeah, I'm going to have to keep stressing that in every video. If you want me to keep putting the volume of content that I try to do, that I strive to do every day, there's always something. I'm going to have to ask you to please, support back in that way, because it does help. And by the way, can I just say, I know this looks like a child jumper, right? I basically got it because I got my niece's. This means something too. Look at how I'm over explaining what about. But anyway, it's like I got it because I got them very similar rainbow cardigans, and then I wanted to I'm just going to get a cute picture, which we still never got, by the way, because I'm pretty sure my sister chucked out the because she was allergic to the material. Anyway, all this is going to have some kind of meaning. But I basically feel it's about rainbow codes, because if I'm being God's honest truth, when I got up really late because I didn't sleep, I actually put this on because it was cold over. I'm wearing like this looks like a kid's onesie. It's like a onesie. So after I film this, I'm going to go and yeah, I'm going to get myself a bath and get my clean jammies on again, and that's basically how most days go for me. I'm only joking. I do go outside sometimes too, but um, but I better hurry up, because if I don't hurry up, you're going to hear a lot of noise with the Scotland game. So it's, but it's not on for another 20 minutes or something. But yeah, basically putting all that aside, um, yeah, I do feel with that, them just drawing my attention because I'm just looking at the wee one in my messages, but I know that it's just somebody that's acknowledged what I've wrote. I feel that's going to be something to do with like with twin flames, when even if you have sent a literal message or a voice note or something like that, you even if you don't get the response, you know that the person's acknowledged it, you know what I mean? And although I know that that can be difficult, it's very much part of the journey. This could have something to do with this, whether this is more recent or whether this was ages ago or whether it's a future event. It'll be different for different people, as I always say. So yeah, everything I do is channeling, meaning the way I approach every video is going to have something to do with what is said. But like I said, I'm aiming to keep this, I think realistically 20 minutes it'll be, because I wanted to share. It's a download I've been getting for ages, really, months, and then it sort of comes into my awareness, and then it feels so obvious that I don't even need to say it, and I feel I'll weave it in when I'm doing, the everyday videos, but it feels like I need to make a bigger deal of it, for some reason. They're guiding me to. And I do feel it is because a lot of unions are imminent. Again, I could use that deck to see. I think there is a deck, and actually there is a card in this deck that says that, so I'll hold it to remind me to use it, because I don't want to make this about the cards so much. But the reason I'm saying that is because after connecting with one of our male viewers, so I'll not name people, but again, it's kind of like, because I don't connect with a guy so often, well, in general life, but through the Zoom calls, I probably could be like, oh, but I'll just say, because this can be out, and what I'm trying to say is it was really lovely. So it was just, yes, I feel all, like I said, every time I connect with anyone, I feel all like I come off in like an unconditional love bubble. But it was kind of like, it's because I just know how, I mean, that actually kind of makes me want to start crying. So it's like, I know how grateful that particular family member is, for, yeah, just for my effort, for my daily efforts, and for showing up all the time. I just, that person's always let me know. And I said to him, like, I really do feel you're one of the people that is like flying a flag for, it's, to be honest, like, he's not the only person, but there's, he's one of the main people that, when he's let me know how much I've helped him, whenever it is he felt called to do that, through, letting me know through an email, or a wee comment here on the YouTube, or like, donations when he's felt guided to, it's always come at exactly the right time. And like I said, I've always kept going regardless. When I've got tumbleweeds on any platform I've ever been, I've always kept going regardless, because it's just, I feel I was built for that. To just keep speaking the truth, even if your voice shakes. And that's kind of weird I've used that term, because like I said, there's actually a few people that are not well around me right now. But see, my throat's went shaky when I said that. So if my voice kind of goes like that, I feel it's because I'm connecting with people that are, it feels like, like either flu symptoms, or heavy colds, or sore throats. So because of the nature of me sending healing, it's kind of funny. It's kind of, the other day I did feel like, oh, it's something come for me, but then I woke up fine the next day because I'd sent the person healing. And so it's just, but when I connect with people's energy, it is very real. So just know that, because I have got a wee candle burning for someone over there, I am picking up. So perhaps there's some of you that aren't feeling well, because this can be ascension symptoms too. But, and I actually, because I'm still talking about this must be relevant. I feel this is for some of you that are experiencing like flu-like symptoms, or colds, or it's if it's not you, it's your twin. So just be open-minded to that. But yeah, let's just get down to the nitty-gritty of this, because like I said, I'm gonna do another twin flame therapy after this, but I wanted this to be mainly about, so before I forget what the main gist is, it was a very simple message that I got. And also they drew me to that in my room, and these cards I put, so I'll hold them, and that one feels important on the top. Yeah. I'm gonna, so I think when I hold these cards, I'm gonna be channeling the energy of this as well. When I woke up this morning, it was like clairaudiently, I felt I was being told that when you approach that conversation, in the physical with your twin flame, like, by this point you'll have more than likely had like, well, you will have had so many telepathic conversations going back and forwards. Um, and you will have maybe done meditations and, shamanic journeys and soul retrievals, especially if you watch my stuff, and I could have guided some of it live, whatever, blah, 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 or you've been doing stuff with people, whatever it is, right? But when you're actually sitting there with a real live person, and it feels like, is this even real? All that that's going to be quite different, and bring up a whole range of emotions. But what the message I've been getting for ages, and it was really, really strong in my spirit today to share it, which does imply to me that there's people that need to hear it now, because it's soon, or whenever it happens, is because when I was talking to the person on the Zoom today too, like, it was reminding me, I was like, oh, like, there's a couple of videos I haven't published, like, there's quite a few videos I haven't published yet. And so I've just started watching one back, and even from a few minutes in, I started to remember I knew generally what it was about, and I knew it was quite heavy. And at the time I felt, I don't think this is the right time for this to go out. And also I felt it was because, I don't know, it was like, maybe more people are going to resonate when I publish it now, because I do, publish it the same night as I publish this, or definitely by Wednesday, sorry, well, maybe Wednesday, but I feel like definitely by Monday, but I'll probably just publish it tonight after I watch it again. But I've watched about 10 minutes of it, and I'm going on about deliverance, salvation popped up on the TV. And then I put the breakdown of that in the comments. So I won't try to do it now, but I knew generally, I was like, wait a minute, right? And that's basically everything I do, like basically helping people out of a really dark place. And definitely if you're beating yourself up about something. So that brings me very nicely on to the download that I got, that I feel if you are feeling a conversation coming, or just whenever you know it's going to take place, or um if you've actually made, like I said before, if you've actually made plans to talk and it's, there's space in between, or just, yeah, to be prepared for it. What I was hearing was, and it's hard to put into words, is I think it would be really helpful if you let your I just got confirmation in the way of my twin flame's birthday numbers. If you let your twin flame know that, like, and again, you might like, you remember I always say, like, I'm just channeling the divide, right? The divide. If you're new around here, you'll be like, what? But if you're not new, you'll know that that's usually when I say I'm channeling the divine. I'm channeling God, Holy Spirit, divine source energy. But I just said I'm channeling the divide. And that's that card. Look, we are both hurting from this damage. Channeling the divide. So I am channeling where there's been a divide here. But I mean, that's what twin flame separation is. Divine separation. Nathan. But yeah, so it serves a purpose, but I feel with me saying divide, I think this is going to bring in, I kind of want to keep that out of it, but I definitely feel where it'll be where others around twin flames haven't helped. And rather than where they could have brought two people more understanding and cleared up misunderstandings, it's definitely going to be where people have created more of a divide. But like I said, it's all part of, and although this is going to, I know why they're getting me, so this is all part of it, because although, yes, that is part of the higher plan, and I just spoke about that, the person I was speaking to had an amazing understanding of all this too. It felt like, it all happens the way it's meant to, and it's all in divine timing, but we can't excuse some of the stuff that happens in the 3D, meaning that any of the karmic people that do intentionally cause harm, like to keep people against each other, there's got to be repercussions for that. I mean, there's got to be karma for that. And again, like I said, it doesn't at all, from my perspective, I'm like, look, what's done is done now. The lessons are learned. But what I do to protect myself is I don't, if whenever personally it's happened, I don't need to have the same people around me. I can have boundaries, I can forgive, and I can even love people from afar, but I don't need them around me. And like I stressed before, depending on what happens in twin flame dynamics, you actually have to do that with your twin flame too. And that's why we've got a load of people in really sticky situations, because you might still be very codependent on them, and you feel like, oh no, but if I let them go, they're going to go with someone else. And it's like, you've got to just let the cookie crumble where it may, because if they are truly your twin flame and you're not letting them fully go, like let the bird fly free out the cage and see if they come back kind of thing, then it's going to fall to shit anyway. Sorry to tell you. So, depending on where you're at there. So, just, you've got to fully trust and let go, and let both of you go on the journey that you're meant to go on. But, and what's weird is this is not how I saw this video going, but as you'll know if you watch me all the time, I'm just going with the flow with what wants to come through. What I'm generally trying to say is that the message is, it would be wise to say, if you can, if you feel your twin is open to it, and I feel if you're at the point where you're having a conversation, if you're anything like me, I've always said, like, look, whenever that conversation comes about for me and mine, whenever that might be, it's going to be initiated by him. And I think a lot of that has got to do with what you see me sitting doing here. I think it's enough what I do every day on here, helping me, him, and fucking everyone on this journey, as long as you resonate with me, that, I've, yeah, it's definitely his call, in more ways than one. But it's kind of like, because it's about the other person's, lessons as well, and life lessons, but basically, I feel if it's possible for you to start off by saying, just reassure. So this is, again, this feels like it's so simplistic, and like, why do people need to hear this? But obviously some people do. Start off by explain if you feel the same as me, because I can't tell you how you feel, but if you feel like me, I'm going to tell you how I feel about this from all the people that I've helped, which is, like I said, for it's really more than 10 years, but it's 9 years I've had crystal clear visions next week sometime, basically on the summer solstice, which is less than a week away from right now. And by the way, if you're watching this real time, you might be called to join the inner union. See what I mean? Inner union, and bringing in the physical unions for the people that are ready, Zoom. So look at the details below. But like I said, if this is long gone, that this information is timeless. And also, I feel the throat is not only just logically because I'm sending healing to, actually, because that isn't logical. If you think about it, it's energy. Some people can't get their heads around it. It's not just because I'm connecting with people that are not feeling right now. And actually, I feel it's some of you too. I feel that's more than just the people I know. It's my personal life. I feel this is to do with the communication, because we're in the season only just for another wee week there, well, under a week, of Gemini season communication, and obviously Gemini is twins, twin flames as well. So it even makes sense to me that the gap is closing, and then when the moon, the moon is moving into Capricorn a couple of days after the the solstice, and that's the full moon in Capricorn, which actually, yeah, takes names. It's about karma, karmic debt, it's tough lessons. And I feel that this is what might be quite nice for you to know. Like, I don't want to go too deep into it, but I remember this time last year on the full moon in Capricorn, it was definitely the closing of a cycle of extremely tough lessons for me personally. Um, and so you may have recognised that in your life for the full moon in Capricorn last year too. It usually is for all of us in some kind of way, or unless it's going to be kind of like stuff around finances or money or business, or because that's what Capricorn is too. But it's karma and tough lessons, and but because it's a full moon, you could get answers, and there was things in my life that I certainly did get answers to things that were a bit of a mystery, but it was tough lessons. Um, and yeah, and then so you see, and then when the sun, because I said the moon, but the sun and the moon's divine feminine, divine masculine, when the sun moves into Cancer right after the solstice. Not to mention, by the way, that the solstice, I know I stress this every year, but I can't stress it enough. That week before any kind of change of season is so, I just heard the word tumultuous, which I know what it means, but it's not something I would use all the time because I can barely say it. But it is. It's very chaotic, and people can get very angry, or people can get ill. Like, I think that's why quite a lot of people. Well, I know there's a lot more reasons why than that, but a lot of people are ill right now because it's the ugliness in the world collectively, and then personally, like, just people's stuff is coming up to the surface. It's like, remember I said the other day, like, I'm picking up all these karmic situations that have been going on a long time, and it's like the darkness is coming to light, because that's what happens when because I remember actually doing a video like this, which was quite intense when it was, can't remember if it was coming out of the winter solstice or going into it. I think it was coming out of it, but that was quite intense, that one, and this one feels a wee bit intense too. That it does feel like that balance that's coming up, and now they're guiding me to show you, these were the cards that came up for the person I was on the Zoom with. Acceptance, which felt very relevant because rhodochrosite is about healing heartache and pain of any kind in your life, and acceptance, and balance. Solstice is about balance, and which I actually never even made that link while I was on the call with the person, but and third eye activation. So brow chakra, inner vision, clear seeing. And like I always say, I'm not called Claire for no reason. Like, I am in people's life to help them see what they weren't seeing before, about your potential, about your calling, about who your true twin flame is if you were getting confused, and whatever's going on in karmic situations. What else did that? Well, there it is, yeah. So on that note, because the video has already been 20 minutes now and I've not even gotten to the main message, I feel what because that's a message in itself. The random way that the channeling comes through, it always makes sense. I wanted this to be 20 minutes max, and I've taken the whole of 20 minutes, but it's to go around the houses to get to the point, right? So I feel that's what your shadow might do that when you're in that moment with your twin flame. And what I'm just being guided to say is, I would start the conversation off, right, by saying, like, are you open to hearing my perspective on how I feel this is best going to work for us both to listen to each other? I don't know, however you would say it, right? And then once the person's like, yeah, and they're open, this is how I feel. So if you don't feel this way, you say whatever. But I would say, I will say, I will say, or I would say something like this, that I completely understand the spiritual higher, what I would call the Sagittariusness of all this. Like, I understand the higher reason why all these things happened, all of it, every single bit of it. And I forgive what I already consciously know, and I even forgive the things that I don't consciously know, that like subconsciously I've picked up on, because that's the thing, the elephant in the room, that when you are true twin flames, as uncomfortable as it is, like you feel your person. If you're new, the banter around that is, I watch somebody that says your person, like your person. I like his accent, and it just sometimes comes into my head like that. But yeah, you do feel your twin flames everything, and they feel you're everything. But if you're the one that's being awake and aware, more consciously aware, then you understand how this stuff works a bit more. But you'll be humbled by it when they come forward, because they will be more aware, if not blow you away with how aware they actually are. And they could almost feel like a different person. But it's you're going to have to get to know each other all over again. So it doesn't matter how well you thought you knew them before, because and actually on the twin flame journey, even if you started off friends or whatever, or however you came together, there you will have yeah, there's always a mask up. The two of you will have always had some sort of mask up. Um, but so providing you're both prepared to drop the mask, because I don't feel this conversation could actually happen properly to the point that it's meant to be in that perfect balance, as perfect as you can get to that point. Yeah, so where are we at here? Just sort of say something generally about, although I understand the higher reason for everything, and I forgive you for what I know of and what I don't know of, and just basically reassure them that whatever it is you tell me that's going to rock the boat, or possibly upset me, because in whatever way it's, even if it's upsetting about them, that's upset them, that upsets you, or if it's something that directly involves you because you're just like, oh shit, that's going to hurt them, whatever, you know just acknowledge that it's like, it might hurt, and I might even get upset, I might even get pissed off or angry, but I'm prepared for it, and I'm just going to listen and be open. But, and here's the but, and the song Yellow Coldplay's just come on. What's the significance? Let me look at the lyrics, because that's one of those songs that, like, does it even really need to mean anything? And if you know me well, you'll be like, I can I can find meaning in anything, but look at the stars, look how they shine for you, and everything you do. Yeah, they were all yellow. I came along, I wrote a song for you, all the things you do, because it was called Yellow. So then I took my turn, what I think I've done. Your skin and bones, something beautiful. And that's kind of weird, because I started saying that about, I actually looked better without the makeup on. Like, seriously. So, and I think it's a soul thing, it's an energy thing that me and one of yous actually spoke about on that too, but it was kind of funny because, but anyway, um, drew a line for you. It's basically about doing something for someone, isn't it? So anyway, whatever that song means to you, I think I did look at one for that, but that's the song that just interrupted us. So it must have meaning to someone out there. But I think that's symbolic of only you and your twin flame know what this means to you. And I believe every twin flame connection is unique and beautiful to each couple, which is why I always stress that nobody should be given the gospel on this is the only way. Because I've said before, but I have caught other people that are good at what they do and well meaning, but saying things that are absolutes, like absolute truths. And um as although I can tell it's like it's always from well meaning people, it's it's I feel for people that have been on the journey longer, which in this case, you know, that's me when I'm viewing and quite a lot of other people, it is yeah, it's, you know, some of these things that people claim to be an absolute overall it just isn't, and it's not the way it worked for me. So it's just I always just like to say that, and you know, in the least sort of triggering way possible, to be like, you know, keep in mind that because this happened for you this way, it doesn't mean that's how everyone else's journey is. You can only share what your journey's like, and if it helps people, great. But anyway, so moving that aside, just yeah, once you say like, look, I understand the spiritual side of it as much as I can, but also we're going to need to talk about the human 3D, whether you call it 3D or human or ego side of this, that fucking hurt. Do you know what I mean? To keep it real, like you can't avoid that. Like both of you, whoever I'm talking to, because I feel I'm talking to divine feminines, regardless of your gender, and divine masculines, regardless of your gender. You're both going to have to tell each other the ways in which one another's actions and words and behavior and whatever hurt one another, and try to stay with it. And what I'm saying from like, you know, from a counselling, like healer person perspective is that's not easy. You know, in my counselling training, there were many people that would run out of the room when the conversations got tough. You know, when we were doing the group work, because that's when you really find out what you're made of. Like, you know, it's it's a rough training ground. Um, but it's because it's meant to, you know, it's meant to be like what it's like in the room with a therapist. But if you think about that, whenever you have been having a really intense conversation, you can't handle it. It's not uncommon that somebody would storm off or run off or. So basically, I'm just trying to sort of put this out to encourage people to, if you could sort of frame it in a way, and I know this is because this feels like it's been really long-winded, and I feel, you know what I mean, but it's just the way it's coming out. And again, if you think about it, it's because like, I always try to stress this, but like, yeah, I know I am a trained counselor, right, or therapist if you're in America, but if I ever write down the full story of what led to my dark night of soul, which was what was the catalyst for for that was actually, you know, my experience on my counselling training. And also, you know, I've never made a secret about the fact that it was like, you know, there was a lot of stuff that went down there. Um, and yeah, so it's like, you know what I mean? I have got those counselling skills, but did I walk out of there with that bit of paper? No, because there's a lot of corrupt shit in this world. But anyway, I didn't need it because I didn't want to work in that world, and I've got the other credentials to do the work that I do. And some people stop at counselling skills level anyway. It's just all it is that I wouldn't be able to get a job working like, you know, in the NHS or something, but I wouldn't want to anyway because it's all basically corrupt. So but that's why, you know, it's kind of like I just weave my counselling skills into what I do because I did get glowing remarks throughout the whole course. You know, whether people loved me or hated me, people did always make remarks on yeah, how because I'm so raw, I can, you know, I can really connect with people on that deeper level that a lot of other people can't. I'm willing to basically go there in my own stuff, and that's how I can get the results with people I work with. And a lot of the time, you know, when you train in these different healing modalities anyway, they kind of go over things to do with counselling skills because it's always going to be handy to have. And that is what I do feel sets me apart from a lot of other people that, yeah, you know, I'm a healer of many different modalities and a hypnotherapist, and I can do quick fixes, definitely. Like I can heal people like that, like spontaneous healing quickly, distantly. Like I wouldn't be surprised if the people I'm sending healing to today actually feel better tomorrow, miraculously or sooner, because that is what happens generally whenever I send anyone healing. But I I just hold space for a miracle and I don't get cocky about it. That and because I just keep the balance of that, it does tend to be the case. Um, I don't know why I picked these up and started shuffling, but what felt right. Okay, so we're just going with it. This is by lying, I ripped us apart, dishonesty. So isn't that amazing? Because I didn't think I just picked them up and that's part of my I always get the word wrong, but that's part of my so it's spontaneous healing, but it's involuntary, that's it. Involuntary movement is part of my mediumship. Um, where I'm not conscious of it. I just start picking them up and start shuffling them, and that makes perfect sense. I do feel this is what, so if you specifically feel that your twin flame has lied to you at some point, whether it was more recently or ages ago, and when you talk, that's what's going to be coming up, then that's what I feel is about, because that, I'm sure that even came out in the one yesterday. It's a bit of a collective theme like right now. So whether this is just somebody lied about how they felt about you, and now it's going to be difficult for them to be like, I've been lying how I felt about you the whole time, and I might have even lied to other people, and it's caused pain for me doing that, and also pain for you, and whatever it is. But this could be like lying about other things as well. So I'll just you'll know whatever that is. What's on the bottom? Oh God. I might need pause this. I'm gonna fucking pee myself. Runner. I don't want to run anymore. But yes, I'm channeling someone's masculine, but I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to run anymore. So and this is the people that want to talk. Oh my God, fucking hell. I don't want to lie anymore, and I don't want to run anymore. So this feels like the end of a film or something. I'm rolling with it. So, but basically, they're pulling me to that as well. When times got tough, I gave up too soon. So that could be relevant too. You can't see what it says, but that's what it says. Um, so I feel that's all going to be relevant to the specific twins that I'm tuning into here, right? Um, but I feel this is just basically it. Yeah, like you can't get this wrong, right? You're going to get tongue tied. You're going to whoever you are, and that's why I started saying that about counselling. That my counselling journey has been that's been a roller coaster in itself. And like I said, it's I had to go through a lot of my own therapy while I was doing that course, but also had to keep it on for years after because of what happened to me. And also, be like, right, well, where does that experience fit into all the other stuff that I do? And also had to like work out the logistics of it. And it is just, by me just being open about that, that it's like, look, if ever anybody wants to do that deeper work with me, that's the story. It's not like, oh, I'm flying blind and I'm like, I've got a counselling degree. And it's like, no, I have done the whole degree. I've actually done it more than the other people because I repeated a year. But the reason I didn't actually get the thing was because I didn't have the hours. Um, and yeah, there was things that were basically they tricked me. So that's the truth of it. But I was wanting out of there anyway. So anyway, I got the skills I needed to do what I'm doing. And like I was saying, my counselling college course gave me actually more in some ways than what that degree gave me. So anyway, let's know about a university fucking thing here. But the thing is, which I'm saying, it doesn't really matter because like people know when they're doing the longer term work with me. It really doesn't matter. Like for instance, I know loads of like astrologer coaches that will use, it'll seem like counselling, but it's coaching. That like I'm a qualified transformational coach, an advanced qualified hypnotherapist, an advanced shaman, a Reiki master teacher. Do you mean I'm all those other things? So people that are drawn to me, they don't really care about the fact that it's like, it's because I know people that are getting paid like top dollar for being a qualified counsellor, but they won't even get nearly even anywhere near the results that I can get for people and as quick. And that's why I'll get a lot of jealousy from people. Just saying, probably a lot of people that don't even know me personally, but it's the truth of it. So I always feel as long as I'm transparent about it, if people are drawn to me. But yeah, shamanic therapy, astrotherapy. That's why I always use these words because that's like because I'm a spiritual counselor, spiritual. What was it? Somebody called me once before. Spiritual maintenance, I think, has been said before. I would say spiritual hygiene, but spiritual maintenance. Somebody called it that once, and I thought that was quite funny. But yeah, basically anybody that has ever done therapy with me, even the people that I haven't spoke to for years, so proud of every single person that I ever have been a therapist to, and I can only hope that in whatever ways that we parted, that that I hope that they, still take the mainly it's boundaries that people learn from me and really make it work in their lives, and make it work for themselves in their own way. And it's really just about acceptance, it's about self-acceptance. And again, these were two of the cards that came up on the Zoom I was on. And like I said to the guy I was speaking to earlier, it's and I'm just not saying his name because it's just, it's just I get in that habit. It's both these cards say acceptance. I was like, that's a really good sign if these cards, because that's how I feel about myself. and that helps your twin flame accept themselves, the good, the bad, the ugly, the light and the dark. And dear God and Archangel Raphael, please help me accept that everything's going in the right direction. Like I'm having to accept with it. Oh my God, like I'm having to accept with how this has been a bit longer. Look, fucking apologise. Seriously, just do it. I forgot. These are the cards I've been holding the same time. So these obviously came out the other day. Damage, we're both hurting from this. I want to tell you how I feel. And so these are a combination from ones I've, been drawn to because they came out over the last couple of days. It's not a bird. Must have been a bird, but and then this has been kicking about my room because I've got that deck and it's very old. I don't think you can, unless you find it on eBay, you can't just sort of buy that on Amazon and wherever else, or wherever you choose to. But I also had I remember they gave you a few example ones in a spiritual magazine that I bought once. When I scratch my nose, that's the loved ones in spirit coming close, and they've been very close today because they were coming in the session that I was in earlier too. But basically, so there was like a few that they gave in this magazine. So basically, I had randomly, so I asked them to use them in a vision board, and this one was I found it kicking about in an old box or something. So it's been there for years. And so whenever I found it, which was a few months ago now, I just sort of put it somewhere in my room, and they drew me to it when I woke up today after getting this download that's been coming to me for ages, and they were like, "You need to just do a video about this." So I'm going to read it, but it makes sense with what I've said. Perfect timing. I feel it is the perfect timing for a lot of these conversations, and they might come about in a really unexpected, serendipitous way. It feels like even some of the divine masculines might find themselves coming in to talk to their divine feminines in a bit of a crazy way. They hadn't. I feel some divine masculines might have it planned in their heads and then have a moment of clarity and just follow in their heart. And that's how I feel some of this is going to happen. Now is the perfect moment for you to act on your inspirations. I didn't even know it said that, by the way. Let's see what it says. The doors are open. While you walk through them with us by your side, don't delay or procrastinate, as all the ingredients are right for your success. Everything and everyone is on your side, supporting your positive outcome. Yeah, wow. I swear to God, cross my heart and hope to die. I hadn't read that. I knew it said perfect timing, but I hadn't read those words before coming. Obviously, I've read them at some point, but I totally forgot that it said that, which I think is obvious by my reaction. So I think that's enough for the cards because it's really that's it. It's like if you can frame the conversation of just letting, if you're the divine feminine, if you can just let your twin flame know, look, I know the higher understand for this, but although I don't want to bypass the pain of it, and we need to sort of know both, we need to know that, right, I know everything's happened the way it's happened for a reason and it's divine time, but can we just share openly, well, first of all, if that's about, can you just tell me the truth? And but this is what I'm saying, before you even get to that bit, which I think it's I feel if you are the one that really has known for longer than them what this is, um, which I'm trying to be mindful to not be one of those people to assume that, because I feel there are some twin flames where you've been just as aware of something that's been going on as each other. Because again, I do feel that is the case for me and mine in some ways, and in other ways not so much. He was spiritually asleep to what, because he's always known me as a connection, but I do feel there's a palpable shift when it gets to this point of him knowing consciously. Do you know what I mean? Or even actually, I feel it's a part of believing that this can actually be a real thing. So anyway, but because that's just all part of the journey. Yeah, I feel before you even be you tell me the truth and I'll tell you the truth, I think you have to just say something, because this is from a person-centered counselling background as well, and it's something that Carl Rogers, who's a pioneer of that modality, and I'm not going to quote exactly, but it's something along the lines of, before you react to what somebody, and I've said this for years, I've always quoted this, but before you react to what somebody has said, make sure that you actually check that this is so you can't see it, but the wee hand on the reaction, this has been happening all day. It happened on the Zoom too, but the reaction thing keeps put its hand up to be yeah, meaning it's really important, or a thumb, and the balloons even came up earlier when I was on the Zoom with the person. But And actually it was huge confirmation of what we were talking about at the time, which was really funny. So so there could be celebrations coming in here at some point as well, or something to do with some kind of party, or like it's interesting. But just like, I don't know if I said that, but I really do feel I'm wearing a rainbow cardigan today, not just because I feel it's to do with the rainbow light codes that are, because that is one of the main frequencies that I hold all the time, is coming in here as a rainbow warrior, as a shaman carrying the codes for the Hopi prophecy, basically, being part of awakening people at this time on the planet, and also being somebody that has been awake and aware. Well, depends how you look at it, my whole life, but obviously I've had my own levels of consciousness expanding and awakening as well. But like I said, I've been a conscious of being a twin flame and who my twin flame is for 14 years this year, knowing my twin flame for 21 years. So what I mean? So that's why I keep saying, my journey is not exactly the same as how I've saw other people say this is the only way. Like, oh, as soon as you meet your twin flame, you go for your Kundalini awakening, blah, 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 and it's not. That's not how it is for every person. So I keep getting me to stress that just I'm here to hold space if you're drawn to me to book a session, to hear how it was for you, and then to help fill in the gaps. Um, but um, and that's what I loved what actually one of you said on the Zoom to me today, was that, what was it he said? He said something like, it's your fault for putting out, it's almost like he was saying, like, the volume of content I put out is so helpful that there wasn't a need to come and book a session, that's actually hilarious. That's banter. It's hilarious. And again, I'm paraphrasing, but it was something along those lines, and it is true. But again, it's because that's what my role here is to do. So it's like, it's because a lot of you may just feel so uncomfortable about even going on. Like, think it does take a lot of courage to actually go, like, ask for help like that on a Zoom. So I feel it does break down the barriers for people for when they actually do come to speak to me. Like, me and him were totally in agreement. It was exactly the right timing. And I could have spoke to him for ages. The only reason we didn't speak longer is because the football's on. Do you know what I mean? So it's but, but it's and like I said, like, please God, if you are a male that's watching, whether you're in the divine feminine or the divine masculine, please, just book that call, because I absolutely love connecting with you. And can I just say, the person I just spoke to there, like I said, I could cry because it felt very like the right timing, and I feel like a huge, heavy boulder weight has been lifted off of me as well, because that's very often that people I connect with on the Zoom, you'll be used as a divine channel to give me some sort of message too. But sometimes it hits a little bit more intense and deeper than others, and that was definitely one of those times today. So yeah, I'm, like I said, I'm feeling really grateful, and he's feeling really grateful. And so, but this is what I'm saying, if you think about all the things I'm saying, that I don't mind that this video is longer, because that's how it feels like it's going to feel with you and your twin flame. Like, if you can lift that heavy dark cloud, or that burden of, think how shit it is when you've lied about something for whatever reason. In the moment, that's what you done, and that's what you felt was right, and then you're carrying that around. And let's face it, some people hold back the truth because they don't want to hurt the other person, because if they find out, it's going to, and I feel there's a lot of that going on too, especially with the video I'm going to watch after this and release it. I do remember that was the general theme of it. um and nothing, whatever the darkness that's went on, is that nothing is worth making yourself ill over. I truly do believe, it's like we're all capable of not being the best in life, you know what I mean? And it's, yeah, maybe you think, well, oh, I wouldn't do that, and no, no, it's kind of like, it's I suppose it's something to do with about judgment and the Bible and stuff. It's, you can't judge another person. Although we do, let's face it, like, again, and I always say this, but when I've done the official tests, I'm one of the least judgmental people you could ever meet. And I always back that up with a bit of banter of being like, really? Like, you know what I mean? I'm surprised, because I do pass judgment on things, you know what I mean? Like, a comment, like, I mean, I don't, I comment on things. But in the terms of, yeah, like, I am very good at listening to people's dark pasts, and just being able to hold space, because again, it's like I said, it is deliverance that I'm called to do, really, and I'm listening to people's really heavy stuff, um, which is a bit more than the average kind of person that's like, oh, I get people pouring their guts out to me. Like, it's really difficult, heavy, dark stuff. Oh, I know why they're saying that, because it's quite interesting because, you know, when I'd shared about on the new moon, sorry, I'm on the squeaky couch, but when I'd shared about that, you know, they were like, yeah, I cannot do any more Zooms where it is completely free. Like, um, like for instance, like with the person I was speaking to earlier, like I've said, like, you know, they had donated something like fairly recently. And so I was like, right, if there is anything more heavier that needs that, then that counts as that. And then just in general, you know, but it's like for anyone moving forward, you know, there is it's what it is just now. And you know, I'm not just saying this, like I would book now because it's going to be more than that, because and that's just because I liked it. It's the initial session. I just like to keep it, you know, I was keeping it free so that people could just come and meet me, and it was always meant to be a bit short, but it just evolved into so much more than that. It was actually really, every session I've done has been monumentally like moving mountains for people, very, very heavy energy, whether a lot of people realize it or not, by the way. Like, and you know, but again, I would say everyone that I've done that with has realized it was huge and extremely grateful. So again, I've got absolutely no regrets. So it's not because anything bad has happened per se. It's more like, for instance, like the other day I worked with two people in the one day, and what they brought to my awareness was I was then resting for 2 days. So, you know what I mean? I can't be doing a freeze. So it's okay that I've done that until now, but now they're like, "No," like, you know. So, unfortunately, like I said, you know, it will be, I'm gonna make it that the first session you do with me is less money, but it's way, you know, again, it's for what can happen after a session. It is a bargain, put it that way. Even my high price sessions, for what I do, is actually cheap, believe it or not. I know it's a lot of money, because it's a lot of money for me to save, but um, like I said, I'm not about the money, but they're just stressing that to me. So, and it was what somebody said today as well, was like, you know, I think people really that truly do genuinely support my work want me to see me receiving more than what I do. Um, but so anyway, whatever. So I feel that's going to speak to people too, if you needed to hear it too. But there is just generally, when you're removing heavier energies from people, like what I'm doing every single time, even if it looks like I'm not, like, because I literally just sit on the Zoom and do my session by sitting chilling like this, talking to you, and I'll be clearing. My guys are like clearing really heavy, and the reason why I'm able to hold that is because of the balance that I've reached within myself and the self work and the self growth. Like I said, it's Empress energy, and that's what, in spiritual terms, you know, it's true Empress energy isn't really based, I don't feel, on like your monetary, like how much money you've got. It's your energy. It's a different kind of currency, and when it comes to that, I'm like overflowing with abundance. And then one day it actually means that in the physical that will match, but it's not because I was sublime of it, it's because I worked on my energy first. Like I found that balance and acceptance for myself. And I feel, again, there's no coincidence that's really going to speak to the man that I was speaking to earlier. It's like you know, you will be glad that you done that, because so many other people don't. Like they'll work on the money, the money, the money, the money. But then what happens when you're all out of whack, you're all out of balance, you're not accepting who you are, you've not only got self-worth, but you've got loads of money in the bank. Money can't make you happy. Do you know what I'm saying? Whereas at least if you're in balance, and then you can think, right, you can get yourself in a good place, hit right, come up with an idea, take the action, you know what I mean? It makes more sense. Anyway, it makes sense to me. Hopefully this makes sense to you. I'm just channeling the divine. But so it turns out this was meant to be a longer one. So again, I can't do short videos, so whatever. The right people that are meant to watch it will watch it, because I will title it something like that. Um, so yes, this was very long-winded. I think I will get the cards to see what else we need to know here, because it turned out to be, it's just generally that, like, before you react to what the person said that triggered you, whether it's your twin flame or anyone, just be like, can I just check, did you, when you said that, did you mean X, Y, Z? Did you mean this? And then that's when you give the person a chance to be like, "Oh, no, I didn't mean that. I meant this." "Oh, right." Because if you misinterpret what they say and you respond right away and you react, then you could start arguing, and maybe they didn't even mean it like that. So you got to check. But then it could be that you check and they're like, "Yeah, I did mean that." And then you're like, "Right, I'm fucking going in." Now I'm gonna give it to you. Do you know what I mean? But it's better. So if you, I know it's really hard because I always laugh too. Like I said, that's why I've given you the full disclosure, because again, that's never been a secret. You know, I tell people, if anyone that ever approaches me, to anyone in the past or anyone in the future, and that's why I say it now, anybody that wants to do counselling or therapy with me, that's, you know, that's my background in it. Like, and that's why I've had people say, like, there's people in the playlist that have said how much I've helped them, and you know how. So basically, you know what I mean, I had to validate myself with that, but I think a lot of people wouldn't, because they'd be like, oh, this happened to me, but it's like, you know, I know that what happened to me wasn't my fault, and I was actually treated very unfairly, and that's not me playing the victim. That is just the truth. But there's also other factors, but like I said, I'll keep that for the book. But I just cut the deck out. I'm afraid it's too late to take action. And hope. I haven't given up hope on us yet. Wow. So again, this does seem like it's going to pick up on specific. Hope, that word hope's been coming up a lot today as well, because I picked up. So again, I feel, you know, that word has always been one of my favourite words, but this could specifically, and also I connect hope with the rainbow frequency too, because I always, the rainbow is a sign of hope to me and a lot of people. But this little symbol says hope, you know what I mean? So I don't know if you can see, but it's that little whatever ribbon sort of commonly used thing, and it says hope in it. So I do, so it's kind of made me think maybe there is maybe somebody's knows somebody in spirit called hope as well or something like that, but it's something specific that's come up today. But they're pulling me at the rainbow up there too. Like it's actually what my niece drew, the rainbow. Um Yeah, so that's basically, you know, when you're talking, but it's just generally that. Just if you can, before you get going with the conversation, if you are, I would say the divine feminine energy, regardless your gender, if you can say, like, look, you know, I totally understand the spiritual element of this, and that it was all meant to happen for a reason, but I don't want us to brush past and be toxic positivity about it. But like, oh, you know, it's all in the past, let's not go over it. Like, I want to just, can we just sort of hash it out a bit? Like, that I want you to tell me your perspective on it and what caused you pain, and you know, are you able to listen to what caused me pain? Like, I think that's what I'm trying to get across as well, is make sure that you're both in a good place to do it, because I could really foresee, you know, because I know astrology, like for instance, if your twin flame approaches you and you're in like a 12th house transit or something, like say that, you know, the moon's only in your, like I was just saying that to somebody there recently, you know, one of the people that's you know, because there's so many people right now around me that aren't feeling that well. I was just sort of reminding them, like, you know, the moon's going to be in your 12th house soon. So, you know, you got to take even more care, because that's when you can be really low energy. You know, it's about illness, mental health stuff, burnout, you know, like it's spiritual awakening stuff too. So it can be really, really rough. So it's, you know, that's when basically I make a joke about this with my friends that know about it really, but it's true. Like you can seriously have a mental breakdown like every month around that time. So it's wise to be aware, as the alarm just goes off saying "Save me," hilarious. With the song I can't stand, because I've had it as an alarm for about 4 years now. Um, but yeah, but look at what we're saying. So, you know, that's not the best time to have. It's okay, you know, if you've been in a, you know, if you've, once your twin flame's been in your life for a while in whatever capacity you're in contact, then that's fine. You could just be like, look, I'm feeling like shit. Can we just like Netflix and chill, like literally just kind of hang out and nap and shit like that? You know what I mean? Like, but the same, you know, actually, I'm just gonna be frank for like the women out there too. The same for if you approach a woman when she's like, it's not even so much when, so maybe, oh my God, this is so funny. Because, like, remember, because of my 8th house planets in my North Node, like, this is the kind of taboo topics that a lot of other twin flame teachers, you know, my like preferred as a twin flame teacher, you know, but twin flame guys, twin flame whatevers might not say this, but like, you know, it's not so much approaching a woman when it's her time of the month, it's actually approaching her when it's like just the days before that or even the week before that, because that's when women's hormones can be like all over the place. And you know, just way, way more sensitive. And it's actually, you know, the day that actually the time of your month actually arrives is actually a day where women can be like and a lot of women might be like disagree with this because again, when I first like got drawn to stuff and researched it, I was like, it's not. I don't find it exactly. Some months I do, and some months I don't. But it's I don't know how I've like went from going to be filming a 15 to 20-minute video to be an hour deep talking about the time of the month. But here we go. It's really going with the flow, guys. It's but think about it. Some men might need to know this. That it's like apparently on the day that the period comes is that's when a woman can be like the most extrovert. Like, because but it makes sense, it's like, there's been a build up and then when there's this release, like, you feel, "Oh, right," like, a bit so, contrary to popular belief, like, I think gets made jokes about, like, "Oh, they're on their period, they're gonna be moody and that," but it's not, it's actually the couple of days before, and then, depending on how bad you get it, like, some people can be doubled up with, like, for instance, like I said, I always stress that I don't, I mean, because why would you? But, some people do, because some people think it's a good thing. So this is why, again, even if this is just a random, this is so funny. But even if this is just, I'm blaming this cardi. This cardi's made me far too like, I don't know, just chilling and like, just hanging in my living room and my kid like to me. But anyway, I'm always like this, but it's whatever. Somebody needs to hear this, whether it's a woman or a man for the information. Um, that some women, I think, I've seen some women be really open about, oh, especially when it's like, because we've got a few people now and again that, that have attended. I mean, I've never even attended one of them, but, like the red tent ceremonies where it's like, a celebration of the time of the month and bonding with women. And I have actually been to shamanic things like that, but not specifically one that was named that. But, that, oh my God, they're just, I always forget that myself, but actually this is really important because this is a massive part of my work. Like I am a womb healer and, I activate energy at the womb. So I clear the trauma at the womb space and I activate, that this, this healing energy for basically you to pull in, um, well, miracles, because the womb, think about it, the womb is a space of miracles. Like this is actually a huge divine feminine teaching that's coming through right now. So this will be interesting to watch it back, like this bit. But I mean, all of it is because I'm a divine feminine, but I can feel it. It's like this isn't like big information here. So yeah, women to women, when I connect with women on Zoom, people. It's quite interesting. I was talking about money because that kind of work, if you price it, that can be like thousands of pounds, never mind hundreds, because of like that currency that you hold when you've cleared that amount of trauma at the womb space. Because it's not that believe me, I've had that, but I've worked through a lot of it, and I'm still, I've still got stuff to work on, and I'm definitely, I feel there's always trauma that we read. Like, there's always trauma that we need to release. But it's like I've worked through enough of it to be helping people in such a deeper way. And like I said, that womb activation that I've spoken about loads of times before, when that is gifted from spirit, I've researched it. It's extremely rare, and I've had other people that are in the know as well. It's like, whoa, it's like because I was in my bed crippled in pain for a week, like I'd had a hysterectomy. Like the pain was insane. So not a lot of people would. It's probably because they know not a lot of people would be able to endure that level of pain. But think about it. When I had my spontaneous Kundalini awaken as well, I also got it all at once. It was over 36 hours. It was agony and my back was agony, and yeah, I can't even begin to describe the indescribable pain that I was in. And but once I got through that, it was like my life was never the same after. But again, that usually happens, like I've said, well, over an extended period of months or years or a lifetime. Some people, like I said before, some people will literally just, and I don't like using the word, but some people will hate me because they see how easily my gifts just flow through. But again, it's like, look what I got to get, look what I had to go through to get there kind of thing. And it's not like just kind of got thrown upon me. So, but I must have agreed to my soul contract. So that's why basically I get things really rough as a teacher on this journey, like all bits of it, so that I can help people through the worst of it, which I feel is really going to shine through in some of the things. Again, I can't remember what I channeled, but I just know that that one that I'm going to be watching back after this was it seems like really challenging situations that people are going to have to overcome. Because look, the stress from this is draining me, overwhelmed. Because I was going to lead on to, because I was talking about the womb and periods and all of that, and And for those of you that, are past that and you're in perimenopause and menopause and stuff, I also help women that are in that stage of life because I just do attract a lot of older women as well. But what I was just going to wrap that bit up was because I feel that's going on in the men. So obviously the men don't have a womb. There's a lot of crazy shit going on in the world, but I'm not going to be on board for people claiming they've got a womb when they're a man. But but you do that is where you hold trauma as well at the sacral, and it's obviously where you can get negative attachments and everything like that. But it's also equally when you clear that trauma, you open up for more miracles. But I do feel the stress from this is draining me. Like you can see a man that's really stressed there. I feel that this is a man that's really needing to release all that stuck pain there, and trauma. Um, but yeah, just to wrap up what I was saying about the time of the month, like it is these things do matter. Like I found it interesting when I caught that interview, I don't know, a couple of years ago or something now, maybe a year and a half ago, maybe it was only a year ago, when it was on that Stephen Bartlett, what was it? I think it's the Diary of a CEO. Again, I don't always watch all the interviews, hardly ever really, but every now and again when something sparks my interest, I'll watch because he's really good. Like it is really interesting whenever I've watched him. But it was the one where it was the woman that talks about the fasting, the Mindy woman, and it was just fascinating that she explains all about that. That it's like there's specific times in the month when it's the best time to have sex, like, and also there's a specific time of the month, and people are like, tell me when. I think it's like days. Don't quote me on this, but I think it's like is it day 15 to 18 or something, or day 12 to something like that. Um, And so it's like something like, just roughly over a week. Well, nearly 2 weeks actually, and to after when your period started. And then the best days to sort out conflict are day 2 of your period. So that's what I mean. Like a lot of people wouldn't realise that. You think, oh, they're on their period, leave them alone. But actually, no, that is a good time. So again, you think, well, how the hell are, if you fair enough, if you're in an actual relationship, then you can, like, so that's good information for, not even if you're a twin flame, just for people, or just for anyone in your life, just to know that. But it always kind of makes me laugh about twins that are not together and when these conversations, like, I wonder if magically some of these conversations will synchronistically take place when it's the supposed right time in somebody's cycle, but let's face it, a lot of times not. So that's maybe quite good to take on board if you know that about yourself, if you're a woman, that you're going to be a little bit more sensitive or a little bit more on eggshells, or maybe just sort of let your person know that, like, look, I actually totally really want to have this conversation, but I'm feeling like really, really sensitive right now, or I don't think I can handle whatever it is. I don't know what you're going to say. And you know what I'm saying? Like, there's definitely times when you could be feeling a little bit more sensitive, and times when you could be feeling stronger. And I think I'm saying this because that can be some of the things that I think divine masculines could worry. Look, that guy looks stressed out his tits. Like that could be like, what if it's the wrong time? What if, what if this? What if that? Blah blah blah. So, God, I don't know where all the fuck that came from, but that needs to be said too. So let's, before I wrap this up, because hopefully I've made that. I don't know if I've made it clear as mud, but I'm just going to trust that just generally to wrap this up, if you can, if you are the divine feminine, if you can just say whether you feel like it's better to say it in a message or better to say it, I don't know how people communicate these days, in a voice note or on the phone. If you're good on the phone, not all twin flames are. I've said before, like whenever the few times me and mine have been on the phone, it's never been. It's just we can't do it. It's or in person. Like I said, some of you might be better in person. Just if you could generally be like, look, I totally understand the higher meaning of all of this, but I do need to, for me, and I'm assuming for you too, we do need to talk about the human just experience of this and how painful it's been, and we don't need to talk about all at once in one go. Like let's talk about as much as we can handle. And I think the most important thing is I feel whatever the missing parts are of the story, I feel it's like divine feminines want just the 100% truth, no matter how ugly it is, and then you know what you're dealing with, and then you can process it. Like, some people process things. Look, I'm still trying to heal. So that could be about the divine feminines, you know, or that could be about whatever's went on the journey, or that can be about the divine masculine still trying to heal from things in their life. I left when things got hard. Escape. So itching my nose again as well. They just pulled me up to when it rains, look for rainbows. When it's dark, look for stars. It's quite interesting because I don't think I am going to do another video now. I think this is just it. It's just generally, this must be for people that are, this is going to, you know, a select handful of people this is going to resonate with. That it's just, if there is a way for you to, forgiveness. I'm struggling to get over the past. And reflection. Being away from you has allowed me to gain clarity. See how I'm talking? I mean, this is, if you're a hashtag, you know, I've been talking that long. We are going to either start hearing boos or cheers when Scotland, you know, however they're doing. But yeah, like, so if we need a thumbnail, it's like I do feel being away from your twin flame has allowed you both to get clarity, as much clarity as you can get, not having, you know, getting the answers from one another. And now I do feel it's about like that this person in your life can't move on until they get the clarity. And, you know, and I think even if you're just open to hearing them out, let alone forgiving them, you know, and that actually did come from one of the the conversation I had earlier with one of yous was like, you know, I think if you're even close to being at that bit, that is a, you know, that's a major step forward. Um, so if you are the, you know, the twin flame that's understood it longer, you know, what this twin flame jazz is about, then make the situation easier by saying like, look, whatever it is you're about to tell me, I was about to say I love you, but you know that might be a bit heavy, so just, you know, tread carefully. But you know you do love each other, but it's kind of like, you know, however you want to roll it, but you know, kind of like, you know, I love you and I forgive you for what I know, and I'm going to listen to what, you know, I don't know, and even if I get upset or even angry by what I hear. And even if in extreme cases, I tell you, I'm going to have a bit of either immediate space from you right now, like even if it's in a room, like I don't want you cuddle me or that because I'm, you know, or, you know, it could be in some cases, like whatever it is people are going to say, you might be like, "Look, you know, can I just have a couple of days to myself, or, you know, can I just sort of process this and then like let you know?" And but some of you might not need to do it. It really just depends. Everybody's different. Like I know people that process things really fucking slowly, like, you know what I mean, like really, really slowly. And that was one of the things, one of the biggest things I had to learn. Really, I'd say that was one of the biggest things I took from my counselling journey. Is I'm like, who the fuck is this person? Like, you know what I mean? Because like, like, you know, I do, and I do think, you know, I think that I can't remember if that was exactly what, you know, somebody said earlier, but I do. Um, it's weird. I'm a bit of both. Like some things I can process like really, really quickly, and there's other things not so much. You know what I mean? It's like you need a bit of breathing space. So it's, you know, in each their own. But like I said, working with loads of different clients and stuff, like people, everyone deals with things differently, and that's where you have to appreciate that about you and accept that, and you have to accept that about your twin flame. So, um, but yeah, you just basically you need balance, and you need to accept that it's been a painful journey, and although everything's happened the way it's meant to happen, some of you might have a bit of a more difficult time letting go of the humanness of it, and you know that your ego might be butthurt, as I like to say, about different sorts of things. But if you can look at it from a higher perspective, um, it will really help you. And like I said, I suppose I'm saying this too because if you're not able to do that, if you're finding that you're not able to let go of the pain of the past and forgive this person, then it just gives you an indicator you've got more work to do. And it doesn't mean like, oh, I've not done the work I'm meant to do. Like sometimes it can simply just be having a conversation with the healer that speaks to your heart that helps you lift that. I've done that with loads of people on this journey, and then so much so that people don't need me anymore and I don't freaking hear from them. And if they watch these in secret, I would love to hear how some of some of those people are doing. Many people, but you know, I always just like to think that hopefully it's they're happy and they're you know, they're living their twin flame life and they're not needing to watch the person talking about twin flames anymore. But again, twin flames that are in union, to be married couples, that they still need support too, depending on how much they'd come into balance and accepting, you know, of themselves. So it's, you know, that's where you can have twin flames that are married that split up and stuff like that, because they didn't do it wrong. They just done it the way they were meant to, but now they're on the journey of self-love. And then I believe if these people are true twin flames, then they'll come back together. Maybe I'm channeling that for somebody's situation. Right, okay, what else do we need to know about this? Because like I said, this has went on quite a while, and thank God I had something to eat before I done this. But I'm going to need another cup of tea because it's probably to do with what I said, because there's a couple of people right now that are not feeling well, and I've got a candle burning for this, and I've got a candle over there for it. It's like I can generate this healing to send it to the people I know that aren't feeling well and anyone watching this. So, what else? Because again, I wasn't doing this in the way that I usually do, like, let's pick up on a divine feminine, let's pick up on a divine masculine. It was a bit like that, but it's more just, this is like it feels like an important message of have the balance of both. That even if you do understand that this is a spiritual journey and everything's happened for a reason and everything's happened the way it meant to happen, and even all the karmic interference and the karmic friends or frenemies or, you know, open enemies, hidden enemies, whoever it is, karmic family for some people, blah, 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 you know, fucking busybodies at work, whatever's happened, all the people, all the betrayals, what you and your twin flame have done to each other, it's all part of it. And it's all, I feel there's a divine timer for these divine unions to come together, which is what I've always said, and it's just the truth. Don't discount the pain of your journey, but if you can do it from a place of not blaming and shaming the person, then you're doing well. Because like I said, the parts in you, your shadow parts, will be tempted to do that. But if you can just own that that was painful, but also let them know that you forgive them, if that is your truth, then that's a powerful thing to do. And then, you know, and like I said, it's not just kind of like, right, okay, now I forgive you, let's move on. But in some cases, it can be that too. You know, it's just that it's not so much dwelling on the past, but if you feel like, look, this is probably going to take quite a few conversations to really clear a lot of the air here with this. You know, just let your person know that it's like, we're going to need, but the thing is, I think that's when I'm like, is there any need to say that? Because I'm pretty sure if it's you and your twin flame, you're going to both know that. But I feel that's a message that clearly needs to be said, that it's going to take quite a few conversations over God knows how long. But then, you know, you're going to get to a point where you don't really want to talk about that. And I feel that's part of Ascension. And that's what's weird. Again, I've only watched like not even 10 minutes of that video I'm going to publish later on tonight or before Monday. I'm wearing a blue jumper, so whenever I publish it, it was from memory, it was clearly heavy things that have happened that are going to cause pain, but it's led to somebody's spiritual awakening. So in a weird way, although it's been painful things that have happened that are going to hurt both people, um, it's led the person to properly waking up, and it's, you know, uniquely designed for each person's journey. And I can't remember. I just remember the end of it. It did. It felt like whoever that was going to specifically speak to, and I make it clear in you know, I was almost overly making it clear in the comments, like, you don't listen to, because I've saw it's really weird. I was obviously going to publish it again sometime in May, a couple of weeks after I'd recorded it, saying, only watch this if you feel you can handle it. Like, it's a Scorpio moon, so it feels like this is meant, because I've titled it something like Secrets Exposed. And then what's really weird is it must be divine timing, because for some reason it came up in my awareness when I was on the call earlier, and then yeah, it's Scorpio moon again on Monday. So do you know what I mean? It's like, it does feel like it's time. So I'll know when I've watched the whole video, like, but I just know it's going to connect. I just know already. I think, you know, what I'm saying is, what I didn't release it at the time because it felt such a heavy message and it felt really draining to actually channel it. that I felt like whoever it was going to speak to, it was going to really upset them. So it's still, I'm very, very sensitive, which is a beautiful gift, and I'm sure lots of you are as well. And whether you're put it this way, if you're divine feminine, I feel it could be triggering to watch, because if you've had suspicions about things that might have went on that you've not got actual confirmation of, that could be giving you, if it resonated. But again, remember, it's not a personal reading, but how some people's general readings can really speak to your heart, you know what I mean? Like, I know that mine do, because I've just been talking about that with someone earlier. He's like, he's always like, it feels like you've fucking got a camera in my room or something. Which I always find really funny. God is always watching, and I just am one of God's messengers. But like, for instance, like, he was telling me earlier that it was like one of the names that I kept saying the other day on one of the videos that I keep seeing on the cut, that was relevant to him. And I know that, like, I could tell it was going to be relevant to other people. I know other people go, oh, that name was it, because it will be, because I don't say names for no reason. Like, they always, sometimes I don't even notice, and then I notice after, I'm like, oh yeah, actually that'll make sense for that. Because I'm just being used to give the message. And remember, people in the spirit world know what they're doing too, because I can tell sometimes when I'm like, oh, right, that person has made me say that, because they know that the people watching will connect it. So it's not me doing it. It's like it's the spirit world influencing it, or it's God made me say it. And then it's hard to explain. Because I know what some people's twin flames names are, but I don't. Some people assume that I connect it in the moment. I actually don't. Like, I've said things sometimes that are that are going to be like, oh yeah, have meaning personally for me, and I don't realize till I watch it back. Like, fucking hell, it's crazy. But never a dull moment. But my throat is starting to get a bit sore now here, so I'm going to try and bring this to a close. What else do we need to know here? So some people will have fallen asleep to this. Again, I know I've done longer, but this always seems to be, for some reason, exactly as it's reached 1 hour 17 minutes. I don't know what is at your end. They seem to like 1 hour 17, 1 hour 15, 20 minutes seems to be quite an average for, it must be something to do with the amount of healing that comes through in that time, I feel. Yeah, when it comes down to these conversations, it probably is, it's probably not going to go the way that you think it's going to go, but for some of you it could go even better. But I suppose the main point is, as long as the intention is with both people that it's going to lift the burden and the heavy weight and the cloud that's been carrying you around, the cloud that's been following you around, that you've been carrying around with you, then it can only be a good thing. And I really do feel that is the case for many people. And like I said, that's got a lot to, I'm not going into all the ins and outs of it, but there was something that the person I was helping today, like, they absolutely helped me back. And, because it's my own stuff, I can say to you that, my words were something along the lines of, and the thing is, what's so funny about, because some of yous are like telling me your experiences, you won't even realize unless I actually say to you, because I knew that he hadn't realized. And so that's why I made sure he knew that, yeah, there was something that he had said that lifted a really, really heavy dark cloud that's been following me around for quite some time. Just with bits and bobs of this journey. It's again, I'm not going into all the details. That it just was very, very, yeah. It lifted something in me big time. And like I said, I'm very grateful, and it just felt really lovely, because I know that person, who you are, is, yeah, extremely grateful for the way in which I've helped him on his journey. And like I said, I feel he is one of many. It just happens that he is one of the people that has found the courage to speak up. So I'm really giving him props for that, and for all the rest of you, that talk on the lives, that talk on the it's because I go through Zoom, but that you talk on the live stream, or that you leave comments, and yeah, and if you're like, if you're like that person there, because like I said, I'm talking like I've known this guy really well, but it's because as soon as I spoke to this person today, I said to him, like, I felt so comfortable. I feel like I've known him forever, and like I said, we would have carried on talking if the football wasn't on. So I was like, go and enjoy the football, kind of thing. So, and that's what it's like with every person I'm on this Zoom, but that's where there's a bit of an issue, kind of. But it's kind of like it's fun, and it's soul family, and that's when you know it's soul family, and it's And just how, yeah, it just feels like hashtag all the feels that, how lovely is that, that somebody that's had a lot of support from me doing these daily efforts has been able to lift something from me that it's, it really has. Like, again, and I suppose that's when I say, like, oh, I can process things really quickly. I think with that, like, he said the same back to me, that it's like I really do feel like, um put it this way, I feel whenever I have a conversation with my twin flame, I think there's going to be some scarily mirroring things with something that me and that guy were talking about today. I really do feel there's going to be something that's, yeah, that's said, that's really, it's like what I say about, there's things that you can just tap into intuitively, but you don't know. It's like in French, you don't know that he knows that you know that you know, but it's like you don't know until it comes out the person's mouth how they feel, or you don't know the actual truth until you hear, and it's like they're the same with you. It's like what I say about here, for all the divine feminines, any gender that are out here sharing however on whatever platform they do, you don't know the whole truth, because not everybody's going to give the whole truth, because it's no fucking wise when you've got different people that are watching and that. So, there's bits in my story that you haven't heard and you're not ever going to hear, because it's only stuff that I want to talk about with my twin flame, basically, you know what I mean? Or like my closest friend, and although I get very close to people on Zooms, that's just a fact. Um, and so it's always just wise to remember that, it's always just the tip of the iceberg. So I think that goes without saying too. So is there any more cards that want to come out of here before we end this? So like I said, this is quite, I'm going like that because I'm like, fuck, now I need to watch it back. But it's like, it's quite an intense message. It's quite deep. It's not going to be where everyone's at. And I did want to make it much less than this because obviously, yeah, I wanted it to be so that more people would watch it, so that's it. But again, it's like that's trying to fit into a box that I'm clearly not meant to fit in. You know what I mean? The right people will watch it when they're meant to for the time we're in. So I'll trust. If I get guided to do a wee short video saying the same thing, I will, like another day. But for today, this is what it is. Just try to hold both truths, that the spiritual, it was all meant to happen for a reason, matters, but also talking about the pain, acknowledging it and accepting it and giving yourself time to move through it together. The point is like, learning to not run away from each other. And you might need some professional help with that. Like, and that's where, like I said, I really can foresee me helping a lot of twin flame couples, whether it be like one, helping the men, helping the women individually, or couples counselling. Because again, when I was doing my training, it was couples counselling was, I was one of the few people in the course I was really interested in it. There was a guy from America come to talk about his work with couples, and I actually bought his book. Um, so what do we need to know? Look at what I was just saying. Hold them. I hate how much I love you, but I can't sing it. Can't stand how much I need you. I really can't sing that, can I? Can you see? Well, you can't even see. But what's it called again? How much I hate that I love you. And I don't like the word hate, but it's Rihanna and Neo. But that is absolutely hilarious. That is absolutely hilarious. And it's 1, 2, 3 the time. So I don't know what is at your end. But yeah, I feel this is going to be for a lot of the twins that have that kind of connection, that it can almost seem like, I don't like the word hate, but the song's got it in it. I feel, oh, I said this on the Zoom earlier. It can almost seem like, I feel that it's like there's so much love between you, but I feel somebody could have held up such a match that it could almost seem like the person hates you. Because as much as I don't really like to say it, it's definitely not come from me. Do you know what I mean? It's like I do feel my twin at certain points could have, well, let's face it, I think with some of the general readings that come out, there could have been people that haven't helped with that, and I don't know what the ins and outs of that are. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it can be a bit like that with some twin flames, that it's like, but love and hate are two sides of the same coin. And that man does not hate me. It might have felt like it did, so I might have triggered them deeply at some points. But anyway, I should have expressed myself better, holding back. So, and that's got an olive branch on it too. So yeah, anyway, that song's went off for a reason. You could have a bit of a dynamic. I mean, that might be strong words, like, you know, you might not have acted like you hate each other, but you could have ignored each other, which can also look like you hate each other. Like it's like I've said before, the way me and mine act when we just serendipitously bump into each other, you would think we fucking hated each other. But it's not. It's because we're awkward as tits with each other. And then there was other reasons further down the line, but it's like right, so what else? I'm afraid it's too late to take action. Time. So look at that, all those cards, and that one came out again. Commitment. I want you to be part of my future. So again, this is definitely some of the twin flames that it's like, yeah, they're afraid it's too late to come forward because they've been away for such a long time. But they do want they want to come forward because they want you to be a part of their future. Remember, I've got a stripy PJ onesie thing underneath this, just in case. It's like Beetlejuice, you know what I mean? Guilty. Look what I just said. I feel pain from the damage I caused. So yeah, you know, it's like that's what we're feeling going on here. Indecisive. I know my inability to make a decision hurts you. And so that can be an indecision about, you know, anything, because that's what the masculines are often in. And it can, like I said, not be helped by the people around it. I have to say as well, although there's a lot of karmic drama coming in because it's less than a week away from the solstice and all this scummy energy is coming up to, you know, all the dark energy is coming up to the top, all the truth about people that have caused trouble is rising to the surface, basically, as well as the person sabotaging themselves. Um, and again, you might be that person if you're watching this, depending on what twin you are. But we've all self-sabotaged at some point. But and when I itch my nose, that's the loved one's of spirit. But getting so tired now, I'm like, what else? Oh yeah, look. See what I mean? I just stopped and I've looked down at that again. Runner, I don't want to run anymore. But the point is, it's been a long time, and oh my god, it's been a long time. Shouldn't have left you. What is that song? I can't even. Is that like I'm tempted to start singing? Oh my god, it is, isn't it? Ready or not, here I come. You can hide. Gonna find you and make you want me. That's creepy. But does that start like that? How did I just get into that? I don't know if that was that song, but whatever I heard. Um, so yeah, that's the general feeling. This person's been in indecision, whether it be the karmic people that didn't help or what I was going in to say was there can be people around a divine masculine that have saw the truth about how they felt for you the whole time, but they were trying to be holding space or whatever, you know, people different people wouldn't say it like that, but you know, trying to allow this person to just go where they wanted to go because we can't control people. Um but like I said, for the majority of divine masculine, there seems to be more haters than there is lovers with a song that's on I Hate the Way I Love You. Um oh wait a minute, I need to yeah. The conversation that I was having with one of yous earlier, again, keeping it general, but it was there is a sort of a theme right now around, you know, and I've been picking up on it collectively, like, don't be naive to think that if there's somebody on your twin flames radar that could have planted, again, I know this is what I say all the time, but there's something along the lines of if somebody's had the ability to plant the seeds of doubt, like if they've been able to be very close around your twin flame, I just feel somewhere along the line that has happened because it's hard to explain, but it was like, you know, some of the stuff that I was listening today from one of yous, and then I was sharing some of the things that have happened that we together, you know, it was, I'm really not going to say any more than that, but it was like, there was quite wow, like undeniable like mirroring situations, like just things that I've wondered about in my own life. And then when I was listening to that guy's I was like, wait a minute. And that always happens when I'm on a Zoom with someone. So that's, you know, kind of one of those moments. And it's generally along these lines where it's like you don't know, no, but I feel like this could be something that I get confirmation of further down the line. So anyway, that's very cryptic, but I just feel, you know, be open to that if that resonates for you too. That it's like you could be like, oh, that person wouldn't do that. Like, why would that have anything to do with them? But it really could have. and it doesn't feel like it's an obvious person. It's like, why would that person do that? But who knows, you know, people have all different kinds of reasons. Sometimes it's because they're jealous because they haven't got it. Sometimes it's because they actually have secret feelings for the person you're talking about. So then it would be in their interest to steer you in a different direction. And sometimes it's because they feel you've got a big calling, divine masculines or divine feminines, but I'm talking about divine masculines here. And yeah, you know, it's like people don't want you to do better than them. And that, you know, it's a horrible thing but it's the truth, isn't it? It's like it's you have to work through a lot of ego and shadow work to accept that. You know, like I've certainly been on a journey in that too. As I've said before, like, you know, I've been helping people soar and fly. I don't know about it's not a competition, but you know, fly higher or do egotistically apparently better than me. Definitely by a long shot make more money than me. Like I've had some people that have come on my radar that for a fact I know that they did not have a pot to piss in, right? And then once they've done even like some people that have literally only had like one recorded reading with me or something, but it opens up something that was what was meant to open up in them for them to go and do what they're meant to do. And then they actually find their abundance. And sometimes at first I thought, what the fuck, man? How have I just been able to help that person do that, to do this? But I had to do, oh my God, what's that? I had to do a lot of deeper shadow work to be like, well actually to reframe it, like how amazing is that? That I've helped somebody that wasn't making any money unlock the lock that unlocks their abundance. That can only come back around to me at some point. Arguably, sometimes it's fucking years later. But that at first, you know, it's not a personal to the person. It was just generally because that happened with a few people, and I'm like, and can you think about how difficult it was when some of these weren't even paid things? Like it was like a free, like a free kind of thing. You know, I've had to assess that over the years too. Like, have I been manipulated into a situation where I've just helped somebody for free? Which, by the way, these were like ones that happened ages ago. But you know, it is something I do have to think with every now and again. But it's the long and short of it is, like I said, it's I just yeah, I just it's all part of my journey, and I'm like I feel really proud of the fact that started from the bottom, now we're here. Like I've been a person that's either like you didn't even know you were twin. I've told you you're twin, and then it takes people in different, you know. And like I said, all I just say is like you know it'd be nice to hear back from people that have because that's been quite a few people. So look, absence. I feel like a part of me is missing without you. But look at what I was just talking about. Like oh, then it's just a bit hurtful that people just again, that's not personal either, though. But I can't help but, you know, I'm just owning that, yeah, it can be painful sometimes and people just sort of fuck off and it's like, where did that person go? But I just have to trust that it's like a bird flying the nest, you know, because like I always say it's actually a really good sign. When people are away, it means, you know, they're off doing their own thing and you know, I don't want people to be dependent on me or anything because like I could get run over by a bus tomorrow, guys. You know what I'm saying? So we don't live once, we live many, many times, but you know what I'm saying. But anyway, your person feels like a part of them is missing without you. And I mean that's not a lie, is it? So you're twin flames. And look at this. Reveal. I want to tell you the truth. So I don't know, I don't think smiling's a very appropriate for some reason. Again, I think it's look. Awkward smile. Look what they're pulling me down to Jesus, the divine healer. Honestly, I'm not kidding. I really do feel it does feel like this has been a very Jesus-like channeling rather than Mary Magdalene today for some reason. A bit of both. Jesus, the divine healer. Dear Jesus, thank you for your divine healing power and presence. Yeah, I definitely feel that. The way you love me can never be matched. Right, we'll just shuffle a few more and then I'm going to end it because this is becoming very, very long. But yeah, I really do feel that because and, yeah, these Jesus cards are sitting there, and I just can feel it. What is the last card to end this on? And then I'll watch it and but I'll trust whenever you're watching this, it's, you know, whatever's meant to be said has been said, and it's my twin flames birthday numbers now, not on here, like on the time as I'm looking at this. So, hope. I haven't given up on us yet. So, you know, and I think that they want to end it on that one because look at how much I went on about the word hope. So the word hope is really important here. I felt like you didn't care, unappreciated. So I feel these are the things that are going to come up. Um, and I haven't told you everything. See what I mean? These are the themes. I don't know if we'll ever change. This person look indecisive, and I think that's part of the reason why some people have held back. But I feel it was definitely fed to them that you're too different. How's it ever going to work? And I wish this never happened. Regret. So these are just bits and bobs of things that are going to speak to people in this position. I know I said it was the last one. New chapter, but I'm trying to move on. So it's like what I said, right? Whether you're wanting closure and you want to move on, and it's just, I don't know, there's some practical kind of matters where you can't be together. By the way, if you're twin flames, that's unrealistic but anyway, some people might, be in some kind of denial that they think that if they're still, um, I don't know. I don't know, but anyway, I more feel this is like a new chapter moving on together in whatever way you decide to do that. Mistakes. I wish I could right my wrongs and about forgiving somebody. Because like I said, they are telling me this was very much influenced by Jesus. It's just I don't always know. Because I work with Mary Magdalene and Jesus energies every day, so it's really no different to me. But it's just for people that might be more interested in that I can just feel it. And it's actually, if you think about it, it's to do what I said at the start. I was awake all night and fell asleep from like half six in this morning or something, 6 in the morning or something, to like midday. And I got up and was prepared that I was going to look like crap, but I didn't. I said that I feel like I look tired now, but really in the mirror with no makeup on after I'd washed my face and that, I actually had this glow, this like spiritual kind of glow about me. Maybe that's happening with other twin flames that are a similar part that you're going to know what I'm talking about, but it's the best way I can describe it. It's not like I don't look in the mirror every day and be like, damn, you're looking shit hot, even though you're awake all night, feeling, quite frankly, what feels like my twin flame being awake all night. And lots of people's twin flames. But yeah, I did. It was weird. Shadow side, you made me realize my flaws. I think these are the things that are going to be discussed. And that came out again. I felt like you didn't care. So I think like that's on both sides. I feel this is about the both of you going to be talking about how you felt like the person didn't care, you felt misunderstood, but now there's understanding. I see your side of the story. But you see how what I spoke about is that like you're only going to be able to understand each other if you give each other room to breathe and talk and share about what triggered you and not run away from it. So good luck. May the force be with you. I'm sending you my prayers for whenever all these moments are for everyone. And yeah, that's coming out again. I feel like a part of me is missing without you, but that's overall what it is. I know it's really painful when people are with other people and they realise like I can't live without this person, I can't be me anymore, I have to be with them. But that is shit, let's face it. It's a little bit less shit if the person they're leaving is a baddie, and I don't mean a baddie as in a hottie. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people's karmic partners are baddies in that way, but if somebody's a baddie in the story, like, they've not treated this person right, and actually, the karmic lesson's over, thanks very much, closing the fucking door on that. That's different. It's a bit easier, but it's, nobody, it's not nice to think of anybody being upset. And I do feel that is the case for some situations. And for some, it's people are long away from others and they just had to break away from codependency of past hurts from people they've long been away with, or codependent friendships or codependent families. Codependency usually, but well, every time. Um, but that's what it is. When you're not with your twin flame, you do feel like a party is missing because you're not wrong. But you need to learn to become whole. And look, they're saying whole again, You need to learn to become whole again on your own. And then that, ironically, just being chill in that does bring your person back, if they're your person. I haven't given up hope on it yet. And I feel the fact that I'm wearing blue nail polish is very relevant to the whole open your throat chakra, like, speaking up, healing your throat chakra, because it's usually red is my staple. Because Lexi always knows, she's like, where's the red nail polish? But yeah, they inspired me to change that. So runner, I don't want to run anyway. Yeah, I'm leaving it at that. Like these cards are quite, repeating ones. I haven't given up on us yet and I don't want to run anymore. So that could be a good one. So I'll just decide after. But anyway, yes, I'm definitely finished now because we thought for ages. So like I said, hilarious that I said it was going to be. I could have stopped it at 1/4. Oh, wait a minute. Right, okay. This is one of these ones where they do want me to do on purpose. Sometimes it happens naturally, like it did on that last one. I'm sure that wasn't meant. I can't remember. Basically, I don't. If I do it, manipulate it basically, like to end on 144. I tell you that because actually, I'm going to end it at 144 at my time, but it might not be. I'm just trying to think. If I start the thing and then I don't press record, I think it will be. So yeah, I'm going to pull one of these healing cards, right? But I'm going to end it at 144 because the thing is, they're telling me to do that because I could have naturally done it anyway, you know, I might have, but because I've actually noticed it's because it grabs people's attention. So it's not like I'm going to try and do that every time, but because we're so close to it, I was going to pull 2 cards, but I think the one will look, speak your truth with passion. Look at what I just said. So it's because they really want to hammer the point home that because this feels like it's strange for me to describe this, but although this is really no different from what I do every single video, because it's like I really wanted this to be a short video and it's ended up being, you know, just the usual or like one of the more longer ones. It's like they really want to stress to me, this is what's going to happen with each and every one of you whenever it is time for you and your twin flame to connect. You don't get to micromanage it. Like, you know, it's like, well, with me, in terms of the work that I do, I am like, I see it as like, look, I'm, you know, God's speaking through me, the guides are speaking through me, you know, the loved ones in spirit, you know, it just depends what, you know, what energies work through me. But all I know is, like I always say, I work with unconditional love in everything that I do. And it's always my intention to heal the bonds hurt by pride, because that's from Brave, and it's just even funnier that I'm Scottish. But it's because it is genuinely what I do with every single part of my work is to, you know, to mend the bonds hurt by pride. And like I always say, that can be between twin flames, but that can also be with you and the people around you, the karmic people around you. Because, like I always say, yes, we've got karmic people in our lives, but you will be a karmic person in someone else's life. Isn't that interesting? Like, especially if you've got karmic friends, you're a karmic friend to them as well, which is really, it's kind of weird, isn't it? But that's why it's like, you know, although you know, I can make it sound like it's a bad thing too, it's not necessarily an amazing thing, but, you know, I'm sure you can think of people you've had in your life that even if it's ended sour, you had a good laugh with them while you had a good run at it. And anyway, let's read this card. Speak your truth with passion. You've learned many lessons thus far on your journey, and it's an interesting moment when you sense that you know something more than you thought you did. When that sense of awakening springs from deep inside you, it's time to share it with others. And this is what I'm saying. It's time to share that truth that's inside you with your twin flame. If you're watching this, I mean, I don't know how soon after, but it's preparing people for it. Guardian spirits are telling you to believe in yourself and speak out, trusting that you're connected to the higher powers of the universe. And think about the words on that card I showed, that one about perfect timing. I mean, it does say, you know, don't delay or procrastinate. All the ingredients are right for your success. So you could basically miss this moment if you don't go for it. No pressure. There's only one truth, and when you are truly connected to source, that is what you will speak. And can I just say, you know, whenever I read Gordon's cards, I always feel like I want to start crying because he has been a huge influence, in particular as part of my mediumship. Like I said, I've had the huge honor of being in his presence, and he's pushed me when I needed to fly. When I was at one of his events, and there was only 5 people that done it, and it was a funny day because I was the only person that swore. And before I swore, I was like, and I can say this because it was me, and I'm not going to say the message that I gave, although it was pretty funny. I looked at him and I was like, "Can I swear?" And he went, "Claire, you do you, you know. If it's relevant to the message," I was like, "Well, yeah, it is." Like, because you know, it was. I felt basically it was. I was feeling someone was really pissed off. So it's a bit of a lesser swear word, but I always feel these cards really speak to me because yeah. So anyway. Remember, when you share your experience with others, you will learn more about your true purpose too. And it's on page 88. So I feel 88 could be significant here. And I'm just going to end it there because that's making me feel all warm and fuzzy again, because it reminds me of something that one of you said to me earlier. But yeah, I really hope this helps somebody. And 144, I love you and well done wherever you're at in your journey. See you later.